Hello everybody, and welcome back to Fable Bachelor Edition. I'm going to reserve this video for love. There's a cut and scene you get when you get married, and there's a few things you can do, a few perks, I suppose, of getting married in this game. Our statistics show that we are 43. We are a 43-year-old virgin, so we gotta get on that stat. There is a separate section completely for romance, so you can marry women or men. You'll either be straight, homosexual, or bisexual, depending on which partner you choose. It will also keep track of the number of spouses, how many people have fallen in love with you, how many weddings, divorces you've had, how many times you've been widowed, and how many times you have had sex. In older, I guess later versions, 2 and 3 you can have children. In this game you cannot. And in this game, you also don't have to worry about STDs, which I guess is a good thing. There is no STD count in this game, so you get to live pretty much carefree. No STDs, no children, no none of that. Just you and your wife or husband or whoever it is that you choose. I went ahead and I bought some wedding rings in the last video, and I have already given my wedding ring to somebody because I tried to do a video before this and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working, but now I have figured it out. So I've gone ahead and I have selected this broad as my wife. You can see that she has a yellow heart, which means that we are engaged, and she's the chick with like the braided sort of bun haircut. Like I said, all the women in this game are very generic. You only really have, I don't know, a choice of about 5 different kind of sprites of women, and I figured, I don't know, she's the most attractive, I suppose. You know, you've got like this chick here with like shortish hair. She kind of looks like the fisherman's wife, actually. I was gonna say I could be a complete homewrecker, but he's dead, so it wouldn't matter. I'm just banging your wife after you're dead, haha. But we're not gonna marry her, so you can only marry one woman per town, to keep that in mind. So you can't like marry everybody in the village and totally slut it up. So this chick's another kind of example of a woman. So that means you can have like 5 or 6, I think 5 different wives, because there's, I do believe, 5 different towns in the game that we'll be getting around to. So I think you can have about 5 different wives, 1 in each town, things like that. I'm just kind of trying to show off different types of sprites. I don't really know why, because if anybody's playing this game, they can just go ahead and zoom in on the woman's face and see it. You know, like, she's another example. What about you? Are you new? Nah. You're kind of the same looking. I don't know why, but like every woman in this game is blonde. I think there's one redhead running around this village, but it does kind of vary from village to village, though, I do believe. I'll probably end up marrying a woman in each town, so maybe I will showcase sprites of women in each town, because they do change in terms of clothing, depending on where they live, like climate and things like that. Aha! And here's the one ginger woman in the village. Hello, random ginger. I kind of feel sorry for you. Every other woman is blonde and you're kind of the black sheep. Anyway, enough fooling around. I've already selected my bride, so here she is. I was having problems because to get married you have to have a home. It's probably the first step. You want to own a home. You then want to make sure that they have the green outline on their body, which means that they're in love with you. You then want to buy a wedding ring, and once you have met all those requirements, you can move in with them and get married. The only problem I was having was that if I go up to this building, it says sell this building, which means it's not a suitable marital home. I don't know why this is, but maybe this house isn't big enough or something like that, but it has to be a home big enough for the both of you. So, we're going to go and we're going to live in our old childhood home, and you'll see the difference when I go there. You'll see that it doesn't say sell this building, it will say sell this marital home. And again, I don't know if that is size or location or what it is. Either way, it's kind of a pain in the neck, because this is the house I'm getting a crap ton of rent off of. But I suppose we can fix it in the future. If I go to here, you can see sell your marital home. So we're not going to sell it, but we are going to live in that home. Once you have a marital home selected and you are able to live in it, go ahead and propose if you haven't. And once you've proposed, you can talk to them, and they'll pretty much just ask you flat out if you want to get married. And then once that happens, you'll go ahead and you'll get married. So now I just have to find my bride, my woman, around here somewhere. I don't know where she is. I'm kind of just looking at where the pink hearts are on the map. I think this is her house right here. Yes it is. So I should be able to talk to her. Let's get hitched. Will you marry me? Yes, I will. Let's go get married, lady. Let's do this thing.
And so the hero married. And for one day at least, the troubles of a hard world were put aside.
So there it is. There's the wedding cutscene, and depending on who you marry and where you marry them, you'll get a dowry, I guess, from her side of the family. And you will also get 1,000 renown for that. And they have their own symbol on the map. She has a yellow ring signifying she's my wife, but if she's walking around, I think it's also yellow. I think there's a yellow kind of place on the map. Now notice she's gone purple again. If I want to bow chicka wow wow Barry White with my wife, I have to go ahead and I have to give her lots of stuff, which doesn't seem fair to me. You have to give her like a ridiculous amount of presents for her to be like, hey, yeah, I will sleep with you even though you're 40 and I can't cut you a break because you've been, you know, a virgin for like 40 years. I don't know. And I think she also has to be in the house, which is also kind of another problem. Your wife, husband, spouse, whoever, is going to go ahead and walk around town, obviously, because, I don't know, they have free will and things like that. But it's basically, like, before you got married, you kind of just flirt and be nice, things like that. And eventually, her outline will be green again, and that means that I can go ahead and I can sleep with her. And like I said, in this game, you don't have to worry about condoms like you do in other games. Unprotected sex, protected sex, all that stuff. You don't really have to worry. So it's completely up to you whether you want to actually have sex with your spouse. I don't see why you wouldn't. But it's not really, doesn't really come with anything. If you treat your spouse really, really nicely, they will give you presents from time to time, so keep them happy. You can get some really good presents, like some of them I think give you weapons, which is really awesome, depending on who it is you marry. Clothing, you know, things like that. So it is worth actually paying attention to your spouse. You can get divorced if you physically beat your spouse, which is kind of mean. And surprisingly, getting divorced actually gives you more bad points than if you kill your wife or husband, which doesn't make any sense. I think you get about 600 bad points if you decide to divorce your spouse, which is just absolutely brutal. I don't know why they did that, but they did. So I don't know if she's going to sleep with me now. I might have to come back to this. Because she says, haven't you given me this? You know, like, you're being pushy. I don't want any presents from you, you know, all that stuff. So I think it takes a little bit of time. I was trying to show this off all in one video, but I'll have to come back and do this later. Because I don't really have any other gifts to give her except for what I have in my inventory, which are all kind of different ones. But as you can see, it worked there. Now she's green, and if I talk to her...
I'm off to bed. You gonna follow?
Do you want to go to bed with your wife? Hell yeah, I do.
Oh.
And then you get a sex, I guess, scene. Not really a scene technically, but a bunch of moaning, and you can of course skip it. I think it's pretty much looped, so we're gonna go ahead and skip that.
That was nice.
And then that's it. That's all you get is just her moaning, or him, or whoever it is you marry. And then you have to do that all over again. But she's pretty happy right now, so we'll come back and we'll check on my wife later. We'll see if she gives me any good presents or anything like that. And that is how marriage works, so that's really the gist of it. They have improved it in later games, which I was very happy about. It was very, very basic in this game, which I can't complain too much about. It's alright. I mean, it's nice that they at least put the feature in there to at least go ahead and do that, to kind of take a break from being a hero for a day and, you know, actually get married like a normal human being. And it should be also recorded in our statistics now under romance. Of course, it says heterosexual because we married a woman. We have one spouse, still 12 people in love with you. People will still fall in love with you regardless of if you're married or not, regardless of the town you're in. And I do believe your spouse doesn't lose points if you flirt with other people. I don't know, maybe if they see you, they do. Perhaps someone in the comments can go ahead and clarify that, because I honestly do not remember. And of course, it's going to keep track of your weddings and how many times you've had sex and things like that. So we'll of course have to look at those totals at the end of the game. I might do some off-screen fooling around or something. And we're going to marry many spouses, and we still have a few wedding rings in our inventory. So I guess that's all I really wanted to do for this video, is kind of like an in-between. Next video we're going to continue on with questing, and we will periodically be checking in with our wife. So thank you so much for watching and joining me as our hero became a man at the age of 43. Hooray! Alright guys, see you next time.